hello, and welcome to another episode of Picture Perfect with Sean Lee. And today's guest um, is Sandra Jones of Pinnacle Leadership Solutions. And we're going to be talking effective leadership. Okay. Okay. So before we get started, I just wanted to say that Picture Perfect is not about perfection. It's all about creating the perfect moment to empower, network, and create with others in the community. That's the purpose of this lovely podcast. So without further ado, I am going to bring on Sandra. Hey, can you
Hello,
hear
good
me?
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Yay. So, welcome, 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 welcome. I'm glad that you could join us today. So, we're going to allow you to introduce yourself. Tell us, who is Sandra?
Well, good morning. I am Sandra Champion Jones. I'm the owner, founder, CEO, all things involved with Pinnacle Leadership Solutions. I started Pinnacle in October of 2022, really based on my passion to lead others well and believing that people deserve good leadership. And leaders should also be good people. So I am
I agree.
determined to assist others in growing themselves and really becoming the best at leadership that we can be.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. So, that leads me into my top five. I got to ask my top five. What are the top five skills a leader should have? We'll say should have, like to
Should
be a
have
good, effective leader. What should you have?
What should you have? And that's
Mhm.
a very good question, Sean. Leadership is definitely situational. So you're going to mix a whole pot of stew to decide one issue. You know, there may be
Okay.
many things involved in dealing with any given situation or any leadership opportunity. So, the overall gist, when you say the top five,
Mhm.
here is what I believe, and this comes from the Leadership Challenge, Cosner and Posner, and I may be mixing that all up, but that's okay. You get
That's
the
okay.
point. But there are five very definite
Okay.
characteristics
I got my
that
notes.
every leader should possess. Number one is model the way. People have
Oh,
to see it in you to believe it.
I like that.
You have to model it. You have to show what it is that you're expecting from others. So that's number one. Number two, then, is enabling others. How do I grow other people? That's one of the
I like that.
fundamentals of leadership. It's not just being the leader and being everything all in myself, but how do I make you
I
the
like
same
that.
effectiveness or give you that same effectiveness for yourself? Number three, encourage the heart. If we are
Mm.
not passionate about what we're doing, if we are not caring for others, just as the leader cares for the followers will care for those that they lead. We have to find our passion. We have to be connected
Mm.
at the heart. Number four, inspire a shared vision. Where are we
Mm.
going? How are we going to get there? And how are we going to do this together? That's the main thing. It can't be
Together. I like
fraction.
that.
The togetherness, the connectedness, it's what's going to make us successful. And number five, here we go,
Boom, 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 boom,
challenge
boom.
the processes. You see,
Oh,
my grandmother used to say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for
one for
anything.
everything.
So you have to, as the leader, understand when to say, can we think about this? Can we talk this through a little bit more? You know, and not just Okay, 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 with no discussion. Now, you'll find yourself in some situations where that's the expectation. That's
Yes.
not a good leadership situation, right? So we want to be able to have conversation, to um, uh, invite others actually to challenge, to speak, to share, because that's a continual path for growth. That's continuing to learn and learning from each other. So that would be my top five. That's
Well,
a
you
whole book, you
listen. I took my notes. Okay, I got my notes. I'm
know.
ready. I'm so ready for that. I really enjoyed that because I know that I've worked for a couple of different people throughout my
Goodbye.
life, and their leadership is kind of have been different. All have been completely different. So I like the one that you said about encouraging the heart, find the passion, and enabling others. I feel like sometimes people in leadership think that if they pour into other people's professional development that they will leave and they will grow and leave and then leave them behind. So they don't do that or they don't support that. And I think that kind of sucks just a little bit.
I think so too, Sean.
Yeah, I
And
think
this
that
is a
sucks.
story in my experiences with that. I actually was on a team where the leader thought just that. We this is our team. We have developed this team, and you got to stay right here because we are great, and we do everything just like we want to do it right here in this team. Nobody can leave. We created this little family. And
Hmm.
that was great for the growing, and everybody bought into the vision. And we did. We were highly functional, highly successful. But then what? Now everybody's here. Everybody begins to feel stuck, and
Yeah.
when you're in that same environment and there's stagnation, then what? You begin to fight and bicker, and
Hmm.
there's little things. So when I became the leader, then having experienced that, it was a bit easier for me to understand that I grow people to make them better, not to
Mm.
keep myself, looking
Yeah.
good or to keep my team in
Yeah.
order.
Yeah.
And what I began to develop within the team is that as you grow yourself, you grow others in the team. So then when it is time for you to go, you've already built your succession plan. You have already
I
shared
like
your
that.
skills with other people. And so now we're developing not just, oh, we got a great team, but when somebody leaves, we're going to be in trouble. It's, oh, we got a great team. And you know what? When somebody leaves and gets promoted, we got the next one ready to step up to the plate.
And see, and that's what I like, and that's how I feel like it should be. So that leads me into my first question that I have for you. Why is effective leadership important?
Well, it's important to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish in a meaningful, measurable way. If you're not effective, you're not efficient. Efficiency and effectiveness are two things. I know when I was in the workforce and it came time to write annual evaluations,
Oh,
they wanted to know, have you been effective and what efficiencies have you
yeah,
had? And
that's
you
always
had
on there.
it's always on there. And so that's the overall gist. If you're not doing it, then really you're not being successful. And it's all about what your measurements are, what your goals are. So that's kind of an open-ended,
Uh-huh.
question. But for me, the answer would really be in how you deliver. It's
Okay.
in how you deliver. Why is it important? It's important to deliver with success. You
What
have
are
to be.
what are some of the leadership styles that tend to I don't want to say cause issues because I know there are different leadership styles. Some are more, I won't say relaxed, but they're not as, tight knit and strict as others. So, what would be give me one of your leadership styles that you model? What's a leadership style that you model?
So, yeah, when I think about the leadership styles, you've got your autocratic style,
Mm-hmm.
where, I'm going to tell you what to do and you just go do it. You do what I say, do, right? You've
Uh-huh.
got your democratic style, where we're going to make a decision together. I'm going to listen to all that you have to say, and then I'm going to make an informed decision based on everyone's input. So
Okay.
we can use the democratic process. There is also a pace setting style, and these are some that I know for myself that
Okay.
I've used. So when I think about pace setting is I know the answers. I can give you instruction, I can give you the answers, and you go implement it, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I will tell you, Sean, when I first took over leadership of my team, pace setting, I thought was, oh, that's where I want to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
I had grown up in the team. I knew all of the programs and, I knew what needed to be done. And so I can just tell you, do this A, B, C, D, and E. Well, then when I stopped to think about that, I'm not developing because I'm
Ah,
giving you all the answers. I'm
okay.
telling you, you do it this way, A, B, C, and D. So it was great. I kept a good team. I kept a functional team. I knew they knew the answers because I knew the answers. But when I started to think about then, how do I get to my best self as
Mm,
a leader? Part of my leadership growth is developing other people. And if I'm
okay.
just feeding you the answers, I'm not
I'm not
developing you.
developing. Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
developing me. You're
I'm
just
not
giving me the
developing.
answers. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to step back,
Okay.
and take a look and say, then how do I incorporate this development piece
Now, did
into
you have a hard time doing that?
I did.
Okay,
Because
okay.
go back to your question about effectiveness. If I
Uh-huh.
want to be effective, I don't want you out here trying to figure it out. I want you to go get it. I want you to go get it done, and
Okay.
we done with this. So again, it was taking that step back and saying, I can set the picture. So here we go, inspire a shared vision. And so
Okay.
when I started to have my team meetings, this is the vision, guys. This is what we want to accomplish. This is how we want to accomplish it. Now, you have your assignments, you know your programs, and let's meet once a week or however often you need to. We'll do our quick check-ins. So I'm
Okay.
still keeping a tab on. Are they doing this like I wanted them? Are they on the right path? But I've let go. And that was the key there, was learning to let go and
Oh,
being okay, with
okay.
whatever the outcome is, because as long as we're putting in our effort
Mhm.
and we are being effective and efficient with it and we're
Effective and
trying,
efficient.
that's
Mhm.
right, then we're going to get there. We're going to meet the goal. We are going to meet the goal. So all of those styles come into play in any leadership opportunity. Sometimes I had to be the autocrat, and I
Oh,
had
it's
to
like,
say,
"Hey, this is what it is. This is what it's gonna be.
that's right.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's all."
That's it. That's what it is, right? Because I have a boss too. I have a
Mhm.
leader too. Now, sometimes I can say to my boss, go to challenge the processes. Hey, wait, I don't know if that, is such a good thing. But if they say, yeah, we understand, but this is it, That's
Then
what I
that's
got
what
to
it
go
is.
with to the
Th
team. You know, so sometimes it's autocrat, sometimes it's democratic. And then there is the whole sharing and coaching and that pace setting model where then you start to give back to the team.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the next question. Do you believe that there are more people of color in leadership roles than before? Like, if say in the last couple of, we'll say last maybe 5, 10 years, do you
That's a
believe there's
good
more?
question, Sean. And I really wish I had had time to dig into the stats on that. Really,
It's
and
okay.
see, because that's it's interesting. Are there? I look at women of color in
Mhm.
particularly, and I will say that I do feel like I'm starting to see more
More.
women of
Mhm.
color in leadership positions, um, which I think is an excellent thing. You know, I
Absolutely.
think
Absolutely.
the compassion that we bring will make a difference in any room that we're in. Um, of course, you know, when we had our first black president, it's like that's the ultimate, right? It's
I mean,
like
that
that's
was
the ultimate.
that was such the ultimate. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the ultimate. And you know, really that kind of just set the tone, or it should, and I think it did for a lot of us that we can do anything.
We absolutely can.
That
Given the
yes,
opportunity,
if
we can
given
do
the
anything.
opportunity.
Yeah.
That is right. That is
Did you
correct.
did you face any challenges with you being a woman of color going into leadership? Did you face any like challenges that you still face? Is there anything that you have to deal with that you wish that you didn't have to deal with as much?
Absolutely. And so I retired from federal government. And so
Mhm.
when I talk about my teams and everything, it's in the realm of the federal government arena. And I started as all of the executives when they come in with the great, you know,
Mhm.
leadership stories. I started as a grade three clerk. I started as a grade three clerk in the agency, and I worked my way up. I became an analyst
Okay.
on the team. After a couple of years, I became the lead analyst on the team.
Okay.
And I will say, after another few years, I became the program manager uh,
Okay.
of the
Okay,
team.
girl.
And I was the first African American to hold those roles in
Mm,
this team because
that's
this was
awesome.
like a highly functional, it was a specialized team in the agency. So we did like a variety of programs. We ran over 56 programs
Oh,
actually
wow.
for
Okay.
the organization. And it was always a big mystery in the agency, Sean, as to why no African Americans had been selected to this team, you know, and I became determined
Mhm.
that I was going to get there, you know, that I was going to break those barriers. I felt like my background and the experiences had prepared me well to do it. But let me just say, I did not step into those doors easily.
Mm,
I
I'm
did
sure
not,
not.
even though being prepared, you know,
Yeah.
uh, connected and all of that good stuff, it still didn't open the doors.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one thing that I think we have to persevere through is that we are going to meet those little side obstacles. So in organizational life, yes, we meet
Mhm.
them, which just spurs me, and I always lean back on my grandmother's wisdom. You be the best that you can at all times, and then nothing can stop you. You do your
Oh, I
best.
like that,
You
grandma.
go
I
with
like
your
that.
best, and nothing can stop you. And that's what I continue to do. And so for all of us, we have to find that wherewithal to put in that little extra, because we
Because we
do.
do. We
We
have to
do.
put in that little extra at all
We have to
times, that
put
little
in that
extra.
little extra. That's right. And so stepping out to then start my own business and found my own company. Of course, the same obstacles we face are the obstacles we're gonna face, and it's
Mhm.
okay because we obviously were built to do it. And look at us! Look at
Yes,
us!
we are.
We
Amen
keep
to that.
going. We keep going and we keep doing. So don't be stopped. Don't be.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna move to the next question because listen, I'm telling you, we definitely face challenges, but we are resilient and we don't give up easy.
That's right.
Sometimes they be trying. It's hard, but I feel like once we know that we have what it takes and we're confident in that, there's nothing we can't do.
There's
So
nothing we
there's nothing
can't
we can't
do.
do.
Absolutely.
So before I go to the next couple of questions, can you just tell us a little bit about Pinnacle Leadership Solutions? What is it that you do exactly? Like, what is the business so that people can get an understanding of what you do?
Okay. So, and I'm happy to talk about Pinnacle Leadership Solutions. First, let me tell you about the name.
Okay.
So I am a John Maxwell now consultant. And if you know leadership, you've probably heard the name John C. Maxwell, one
Okay.
of the leading gurus and writers, authors of all things leadership.
Okay.
One of his books is The Five Levels of Leadership. And Sean, after and during my career, and I'm noticing my style, right, which is all about people, believe me, we get the job done, but we care for people as
Mhm.
well. And
Yeah.
so as I'm learning that, I finished my bachelor's in public administration. And then I'm like, oh, I want a black robe. I need a master's. Who are the people in the black robes? That's what I need. So I went on and I got my master's in executive leadership because
Okay.
that is still drawing on my passion for people. So as I got into that coursework, the five levels of leadership were an emphasis for that program. And guess what the fifth level of leadership is? If you don't know, it's the name of my business.
Ah, okay.
It is the
Okay.
pinnacle level.
Okay.
John Maxwell then describes the pinnacle of leadership. And
Okay.
it is all about people follow you because of who you are.
I like that. I
People
like that.
follow you because of who you are. And so when I thought about my passions, and again, it's always been the people for me. The people, Sean, actually gave me my first opportunity in leadership. When I started in federal government, again, I started as a grade three clerk,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And so then I started to get involved in various organizations. I was on this committee and that committee. And then one of my coworkers said, I'm going to sign us up to be union stewards. And I said, really?
Mm.
I don't know nothing about being a union steward, but okay, So we signed up to be stewards, and oh my, it's like that role was made for me. Uh,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got into it. Let me tell you, of course, when you start running, you get into labor unions,
Mhm.
you're elected into positions. Well, you don't
Oh,
get
okay.
elected if people don't like you, right? Or
That's
if people
true.
don't support you, or if people don't see something of value in you. Well, what happens? I was elected to secretary, and then I was elected to executive vice president.
Oh.
And this was just all, hey, I want to do this. Let me raise my hand. Well, then there came a point, and some of the co-workers came to me and said, we want you to be president, and we want
Oh.
you to run for that office. And I'm like, me? Really? I really? So the people chose me, is how I like to say that. It's like the people chose me. Sean, I ran 3 elections. I only had opposition in that first election.
Oh, well, okay.
The next two
Okay.
elections,
That's what I'm talking about.
no one ran against me. So it's
Because they
like,
knew
what?
better.
You know, so the pinnacle level of leadership.
Okay. This the fifth
And
level.
now you don't stay at that level. You don't get to pinnacle and I'm here always because everybody's going to love me. No, no, no. Every leadership situation is different, right? So
So
that was
different.
the union side. And yes, they loved me. I was elected. Nobody ran against me. We were effective.
Uh-huh.
We were efficient. We did our thing over here. Now I'm stepping from labor into management. And so, in the course of
Mhm.
that role, I went from, by that time, I was a grade 8 customer service representative. And I went
Okay.
from that role into analyst, and from the analyst to the lead analyst. And then my first position of leadership was as a senior manager. Well, you don't get to senior manager. I've never been a first level manager, never
Hmm.
been a second level manager, but I was selected as a senior manager, having skipped 2 of the formal levels. And I think that is, again, just by virtue of taking care of the people,
Mm. I
taking
like
care of
that.
the people, and being what? Effective
I
and
love that.
efficient, getting
Leadership.
things done. So at Pinnacle, our motto is mission first, we get the work done, and people always. We always take care
Hmm.
of the people. Mission first, people always.
I love
And
that.
so at Pinnacle, then I am determined to assist other leaders and individuals in their own leadership journeys. I am available to do workshops. I do coaching. I do speaking. But the main thing really is to be there and to be a resource for other leaders and helping them develop their skills. Ultimately, my goal is to do government contracting. And
Okay.
so I would like to be in business, and
Yeah.
um, effective and efficient enough to hit that goal to actually be considered in some of the
Oh, I
government
believe that you'll do it. I believe that you will do it. No problem. I believe that you will do it. So, that brings me to the next question because you said being a resource, how can someone become a better leader? Like, what are some of the things that a person in leadership that who's already got the leadership role, but what are some of the things that they can do to improve on their leadership skills?
So the first thing I will tell you is to continually grow yourself.
Okay.
Continual growth as a leader, listening to your people,
I like that one.
listening to your people. Get out of your own way.
Mm,
We get in positions, we get power, we get authority, and we can become our own worst enemy. Stay focused on the
mm.
mission, stay focused on delivering, stay focused on your people. But growth, I said that first, but growth is that's the foundation. Don't just get a role and say, I made it, I've arrived. I have nothing else to do. You can, and you may make it through a whole career just there. But when you look at efficiencies and effectiveness and you look at the basis of leadership, one of the things John Maxwell says is people deserve to be led well.
Mm.
We look at some leaders nowadays, they're not leading the people well. They may be leading their group, they may be leading their own interest, they
Mm-hmm.
may be leading their wishes and desires, but are they leading for the spaces that they're in and for the greater good?
And that's the most important.
That's the
The
most
most
important
important.
thing. Yes.
So, my last question that I have for you, and you can take a moment to think about this, what's the best advice you can give someone who is considering going into leadership? Like, if you could give them one little nugget of something, what would that be?
It would be to know your why.
Ooh.
Know why you want to serve in that role. Know why you are there. Understanding the why, understanding yourself. That's the biggest piece, Sean, is to really know what motivates you, because that's going to all determine how you serve others.
Absolutely, it will.
That's
Absolutely.
going to determine that. And if you're not clear about that going in, you hear a lot about emotional intelligence. You hear a lot about leader authenticity. The one thing you've got to be able to do in any leadership role is build trust and connection with those
Mm,
with the people that
yes.
you're gonna follow, that are going to follow you. So again, knowing your why are you there, and getting clear about that, and really going in to bring your best self. If you're not determined, grandmother's wisdom again, if you're going to do anything, do it right.
Yeah, that part. Because in just from my own experience in leadership, just being in some organizations, some people, you can tell the people who do it for the paycheck because it's not effective and it's not efficient. And
Mm,
you can tell when someone is in that role for the paycheck only. And I think that makes a huge difference when it comes to leaderships being effective and efficient. And I've seen that firsthand, and I'm like, yeah, you don't really want to be here. You're here
yes.
because you're getting a nice paycheck, but you don't want to be here to make change, to listen, and
To
challenge
do the
some of
hard work.
the hard work.
Leadership is hard.
It is.
Leadership is hard.
Listen, I have worked with people that just listen to your day-to-day people. We know, like, if there is something that's implemented that we are currently doing, but if we know of a better way that's more efficient and effective, we should be heard so that we can make some changes, because you can make changes to anything. You can make changes to a process, a procedure, anything. You're the lead, like you are the person, you can do this. And it surprises me that I've come across so many people not willing to just listen. Like, just listen to the people who are literally doing it day in and day out. We're telling you there is a different way. And it's just like, it's the, what is it, the aristocratic leadership. It's like, no, you
Autocratic.
just do it
Yes.
this way and that's it. You don't get
That's
to do nothing else. That's it.
that's
And
that's
I
what.
don't, and that makes absolutely no sense when there could be a better way of doing something.
But
So,
that's the leader's own self-awareness. That's the leader's
mm,
own listening ability. That's the leader's own growth ability. Because you don't get to those stages in your role as a leader without continually focusing on them. And see, we think, or some of us, may think that, this leadership is really just something that, yeah, it's a term, it's a phase, it's just
mhm,
managing, you just go about, you do these tasks. But really, leadership is a process.
yeah,
Leadership really is a process, and it's continual, and it's situational, and it's moving all the time. And Sean, when I'm speaking to you as a member of the team, that conversation may be a lot different than when I'm
mm,
speaking with another individual of the team. But as the leader, then I got to bring you all together as the group and say, hey,
yeah, yeah,
we are
yeah,
all here. This is what we're going to do, and
yeah,
to make you all feel like, okay, this is doable. I know I got this over here. I know I'm doing, but this is okay. We can get
yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah,
We can
yeah.
get through this.
Yeah, and I like that when a leader is efficient and effective. So I have one more. This is my last question, I promise, because I could keep going. My last question. Some Now we went through a pandemic, right? So we went through this pandemic and people were working from home, right? So now they're wanting people to come back into the office. Now, the numbers have showed that people have been more productive at home and not in the office. When it comes to leadership, can you kind of shed some light just a little bit, maybe you can, maybe not, on why it's necessary to go back into the office? Because I feel like if it's been working well, they're more productive, people are happier, the work life balance is good, people's mental is better, then why go back to what it used to be if we don't have to? Because
Mhm.
I'm struggling with that. I hear a lot of people um in my circle that complain, like, they want us to go back into the office and we've been doing our work not in the office, so why we gotta go back to the office? Like, but from a leadership perspective, I don't know what that looks like. So that's why I'm kind of asking you, from a leadership perspective, why is it necessary to go back into the office?
To go back, well, that's an excellent question.
Listen, I just want to know
And you
why.
know
Why we
what?
got to go back?
You know what? I am so happy that I was able to step out of corporate life right as they got to bringing us back to
Listen,
work. Right? It's like,
listen, listen. I'm
you
still
know
trying to
what
figure it
my,
out. Like, why? Why?
yeah, what my answer would be though is that there is a huge challenge for leaders that experience that, right?
Hmm.
My organization, tax process, and we are all hands on deck. We are physically at the location. Work from home, we don't do that. But guess what? When COVID hit, we found all kind of ways to make
Hmm.
it happen. Now, from the administrative side, that was great. A lot of us did find that work life balance. We could take our laptops home, and yes, we were just as productive. But some pieces of the organization, I'm going to need you back in here because we have to physically manipulate this work, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
the same uh, uh, could be made for on the administrative side, but over here on the physical processing side, we definitely got
Have
to
to
bring
have,
you
yeah.
back. I would say that it would be incumbent upon the leaders to really find some balance. To
Yeah.
really find some balance. I think we learned that there is no absolute, that things can be done a little bit differently. We go back to flexibility.
Yeah.
You
And I guess
know,
that's where the hybrid schedules come in now. They got hybrid schedule.
there you
So
go.
many days in the office. so many days at home. So I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes. So again, we're not gonna satisfy everybody because
Right.
we did get to hear from some that said, I'd rather be in the office. I'd rather come to work. Some people, my one of my directors used to say,
That wasn't
Sandra, we
me. That wasn't
we
me.
don't know what people go through to get here.
Ah,
And
yeah,
so there are some
yeah.
people who get up, and I look forward to making me a pot of coffee and walking back to the desk
Uh-huh.
at 20 feet between the coffee pot and the office, and I'm
Yeah,
good, right?
yeah.
But other people look forward to getting up and coming to that office and having that
Okay.
interaction. They need that. And so I would say for any organization, they're gonna have to find the balance. I don't think there is no absolute. I think that
Yeah,
we prove now that
that
we
it can
can
be
be
done.
flexible. That's right.
Yeah, that it can
That's
be done,
right.
so it's not a one-stop shop around here.
It's not
No,
anymore. That's
no.
right. And so we just have to make good decisions based on what's best for the organization and what's best for the people. That would be my advice. What's good
I
for the
like that.
organization? What's good for the people?
I like that so much. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited about this because leadership is one of those things that can be a little stuffy, but I mean, your the way you talk, you could tell that this is your passion, and I appreciate that so much because I feel like there are people out there in the world that could definitely use your resources because there's not, some of these leaders, I mean, I don't know, I just don't know about them, but I like what you're doing with your business, and congratulations to you for starting that business. And I see some great things from you. I think you're gonna get that government contract work. I know you're gonna get it.
Well, hold that thought right there, girl, because I'm
Yeah,
going to keep coming for it,
yeah,
right?
you
I'm
gonna
going
get
to keep
it.
coming for it.
So
Thank you
before
so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Now, before I let you go, tell people where they can find your resources. And I'll have it linked in the description. But if you would like, if you have social media or whatever, email and, website, just go ahead and tell the people what that is.
Okay, fantastic. I do have a website at www.thepinnacleleader.com. I am on Facebook and LinkedIn, both under Sandra Jones as well as under Pinnacle Leadership Solutions.
Okay. Well, guys, you guys heard that.
Email, I would love if anybody
Okay.
is interested in contacting me directly. Email at support at thepinnacleleader.com. And I'm happy to respond to just any questions or assist in any way that I can. I will shout out, Sean, right now I have a mastermind group going on,
Okay.
and I am entering week 3.
Okay.
We are masterminding on the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And I'm so excited because these are people that are giving of their own. So I do professional development. Absolutely. Any organization can contact me, but I also work with individuals. And so
Okay.
these are individuals that signed up for the 15 Laws Mastermind group. And we meet on Saturdays at our local library, and we walk through the 15 laws, and it has been so
Awesome.
fun. We are doing a 6-week course this time, and as I said, we're into week 3, and they keep showing up. So
Well, that is awesome. So will
it
you, is
is
this something that
wonderful.
is this something that you'll do ongoing? Like you'll have another one?
We'll do another one in the
Okay.
fall. And
Okay.
so, yes, I would just remind people to look forward to the actual mastermind groups that come out.
Mastermind group. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Sandra, thank you so much for coming today. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you and your wisdom and expertise. Um, Now it's time for me to let you go. And
I
oh, wait,
appreciate you too.
but before I let you go, there's a question. It's Ask Shanley. So this segment is Ask Shanley. You can chime in, but I'm going to answer it the best way I know how. Okay. So
Okay.
the question was, how do you have a conversation with your leader without, I'm going to say it's saying, how do you have a conversation with your leader? Well, it says without getting an attitude, but so I guess there's a conflict or something that someone is having and they need to have a conversation with their leader. So I am going to suggest that you put it on the calendar, do a calendar invite so that there is a trail of you requesting said conversation. And I would personally make sure that there was, maybe if not someone else present, because if it's already kind of a conflict, then it might be good to have another person, a third party in the conversation so that nothing is misconstrued. um that's what I would do. I mean, that's what I would do. Cover your own butt at all times.
At
At
all
all
times.
times. At all times.
Definitely not bad advice. That is not bad advice at all. And in some situations, you may need to do exactly all of that,
But
right?
okay.
Here's what I would add to that.
Okay.
There is such a thing called self mediation.
Ooh.
So when you think about how do I have this conversation without getting an attitude, first of all, control yourself.
Mm.
Now, that's going to be the hardest, most difficult thing,
Mhm. I know.
but it comes back, Sean, to self awareness.
Okay.
And there is some language, that we can start to speak to ourselves and tell ourselves, number one, becoming clear. What are you upset about?
Mm.
What are you upset about? Because you can't talk about just what they did and what they said and all of that. What is going on with you? Number one, be clear about that.
Mhm.
And then number two, where you say send an invite, yeah, set the tone for the discussion.
Yeah.
Set the tone for the discussion. And again, be clear about your tone when you go in. You already know what it is. You figured out, what upset you, why it upset you. Again, be very clear about it. And it may be, I don't need to go to your office. Maybe your office environment and sitting across that desk from you is what triggers me. Maybe we can
Mm.
step into a conference
Conference
room
room.
and just sit. Can we chat a little bit? You know.
Okay.
So it's all about how you approach the situation.
But you
And
first need to, I like what you said. You first need to look at self first
that's right.
before you go up in there. Look
That's
at
right.
yourself
With the
first.
attitude.
Yeah.
With the attitude. See, we're gonna leave the attitude because we can be
Yeah.
more effective
Yeah.
when we
Without
come
it.
clear. That's right.
Yeah.
When we come clear.
Okay. See, I was on the right track.
You absolutely were.
I
Yes.
was on the right track because let me tell you, I get the whole attitude thing, but you're absolutely right. Because if you're upset about something that is a policy or a procedure and you feeling like you're being picked on, it might not be that way. It might just be you're being sensitive to it or you're having a reaction to what you shouldn't be doing or
Right.
whatever. So I totally get that. Knowing what you're upset about is important, and then set the tone for the discussion. I like
Mhm.
that. Well, thank you. So that's it. We are done. So
Okay.
so again, Sandra, Jones, Champion Jones. Let me put that champion in there. Champion Jones joined us today for Pinnacle Leadership Solutions, and you guys can check her out. I'll have everything linked in the bio for you guys for you to reach out to her if you want to reach out to her, or if you have some questions. You might have some questions about something. And if you would like to be a guest on Picture Perfect with Sean Lee, you can hit me up at info@seanleehouse.com or follow me on all social media at Sean Lee House TV. So until next time, we are saying peace out.